right? Like, people love to glorify old people love. Like, that's just the way, like, people, if you're, like, people have been married for 50 years, they just glorify that whole thing. But in reality, if you think about it, it wasn't always so sweet. Like, my great-grandparents, the way they met was because my great-grandmother was in love with my great-grandfather's brother. And then she just settled for my great-grandfather. That's like a major pillar of my family. The foundation of my family was two people looked at each other and went, it's only forever, right? And my great-grandmother, then she had 3 kids. They had a very happy life together. My great-grandfather repaid her by saying loving things like, there's not a court in the world that would convict me, right? Because I'm pretty sure my great-grandfather loved my great-grandmother so much, he was willing to murder her just to test the American judicial system. All right, I'll leave on this note. As Matt also pointed out, my girlfriend and I, we've been dating for 5 years, a little bit on the younger end though. We're only 24. The problem is that my girlfriend's only 5 feet tall. So in addition to kind of looking young, I've progressively aged over the past 5 years, but she stayed kind of that same face from when we first met. She kind of looked, looks 19, could pass a 17. So I've noticed recently, when we're going out places, we've been starting to get some weird looks. And this wasn't really a problem until this past Valentine's Day. She wanted a pair of Victoria's Secret sweatpants for Valentine's Day. I didn't know Victoria's Secret made sweatpants, but they make sweatpants. So I headed out to the Victoria's Secret to get the sweatpants, and I get to the store, and I realize I gotta go in there and ask them for the smallest size they got, right? So I walked in feeling a little bit like Casey Anthony in a kindergarten. I mean, I felt awkward. That's what I meant. Is it too soon for that? She killed her kid. That may be too soon. So I walk in and I get up to the clerk, and I realize when I get to the clerk, I can't remember what my girlfriend actually wanted. Like, I can remember that she wanted sweatpants, but I can't remember size or color, or if she wanted something written on the ass or not. So the clerk's trying to be a kind soul, and she goes, well, about how big is me? So I start panning around, or about how big is she? So I start panning around looking for something comparably sized, like, fuck, even the mannequins are huge. And then I spot a girl in the corner. I go, she's about that big. She goes, oh, so she's probably a small or extra small. I go, sure, yeah. And then that girl turned around, and I realized she was maybe 11 years old. And what's worse is her mom has now watched me walk into the store by myself 2 days before Valentine's Day, look her daughter up and down, point, give a thumbs up, and go, yeah! So essentially I've learned if I don't start listening to my girlfriend, one day I'm going to get beat up by a middle-aged white woman who's shopping for intimates with her preteen. Right? All right, I'm Tosh Cevasco, that's my time.